The Fantasy Codex Act 2 Signature Lore Higroacy The Mage Subtle Angels Prequel to Higroacy The Mage and of the Southeast Saga. Introduction. Today is the day young Higroacy becomes a priest, which is a big deal in the anti-mage parts of the realm. They believe that the first mage, Mage the First, was wrong for bringing their dying son back to life, because of the other belief that God had planned for the whole realm to die. So to be a priest was to have, and at the same time instill faith. Whether or not Higroacy believed in the story is a question he often asked himself. These anti-mages tell horror stories of what magic users do, but at the same time, these same storytellers have been caught red-handed telling lies. Higroacy learned long ago to trust his own word above others, and it has gotten him this far. Good priest, pray for me that I might learn to mind my own business, if you must, but I believe today is a big day for you. A young woman calls down the street to him as he makes his way to the church. It is that indeed. Let us speak in quieter voices sometime soon. Sorry, priest. Higroacy spends the day in the church, reading sacred texts, receiving advice from experienced priests, listening to the choir, and getting a tour of the parts of the church restricted to those who are not studied to have the privilege. Take care that you will stay true to the old ways, a priest says, who is surely the oldest of them all. We can't have more mage scum than there already is. Did he say mage scum? I must get some rest now. Higroacy does his best not to seem affected by the derogatory term. The old priest calls after him, If you have any doubts about what I said, then maybe you shouldn't be here. Higroacy lays and rethinks his decision to be priest, in the bed only just appointed to him. For how much the anti-mages hate magic, they sure are fixed upon it. He slowly begins to drift off. What is wrong with magic anyways? Yawns. What's wrong with staying alive, saving others? And it then occurred to him that the anti-mages were the ones propelling separation and starting fights with the mages. So Mage saw the sun die and brought it back to life. And he no longer saw the harm in it. He jumps out of his sleep and leaves the church while muttering to himself that this belief of his must be hidden, and with this belief he cannot very well be an anti-mage priest. Chapter 1. A week has gone by, and he thinks it would be nice to see the woman that spoke to him as he made it to the church. They have known each other since they were children, growing apart as they grew older, until just recently seeing each other through simple kismet more and more. He walks to her house and knocks on the door. She opens it, and her eyes light up, accompanied with a welcoming smile. How can I be of service to you, priest? I was just... Oh, I'm not a priest. Yeah, my first day was my last day. I know, she laughs. I was making a joke. I was wondering if you wanted to go to the bakery. Get some bread and coffee? Bread and coffee, eh? She lets out a big sigh. So traditional. Tell me, priest, do you always stay with tradition? She lets the last word's syllables fall out like a ball down a flight of stairs. Higroacy feels genuinely afraid that she knows he questions what is said about magic. If you cannot come, I completely understand. Love to. She steps out of her home and begins walking. Higroacy following behind. The bakery brings back the much-needed comfort after enduring asking the woman to come here. Comfortable chairs, the freshest bread, sitting by the windows where blue skies with speckled clouds can be seen painting his emotions. He averts his eyes from the window and looks toward her, nibbling bread while holding it with both hands. She puts down the bread. I believe you forgot my name. I would say the same to you. It's like we're meeting for the first time right now. Greatness. He has not heard that expression before now, but he likes it. I am Higroacy. I am Sona. They finish their bread. I think that I have something of yours at my house. It is something from childhood? This is so. They walk to her place. A nice cozy place with lots of services to set things and a reading corner. They walk to the reading corner and she picks up a creased and crumpled piece of paper. Written on it are broken up words, clearly written by a child. It says that you don't get why magic is forbidden, and that you would do magic if it meant I like you. Embarrassed, Higroacy crosses his arms and looks away. It doesn't say that. Oh yes it does. Look. She hands over the paper. Why isn't magic good? I would magic for us to like me. It really does say that. After you wrote this, you stopped coming over. I'm sorry. I'm just glad you're here now. So? Higroacy has another job on the emotion roller coaster. So what? Will you do magic? I. Just then Sona lifts off the ground and kisses him in levitation. To kiss her for the first time and to witness magic also for the first time was like beauty finally understood. Soft lips and weightlessness made Higros into a new person, with a different outlook on life. Not only was he thinking that he must learn all the magic there is to learn, but he was thinking that it would be by the greatness of their love. We will leave this part of the realm tonight and finally be together. We'll be taught magic by real mages. What level are you? Asks Higros. Level 1. I can only seem to live off the ground. A teacher will get you to where I am, and then we can learn lots of different spells. Okay, when do we leave? I have enough gold for anything we need there. Let's go. Chapter 2. So, this is it. The land of mages, breathed Higros. Houses and buildings surely built through magical means. Wood and stone seemingly molded like clay. Every house with its own color scheme. And the civilians, robes of every color with mystical stitchings on sleeves, hoods, hats, halos, goat horns. People with expressions of joy, deep in mysterious contemplation, etc. The sky looks different here. Clouds moved all about, while someone, somewhere, painted their emotions in the sky. I think our best bet is to ask someone where we can learn, said Sona. Do they know we're from the anti-mage lands? Oh, I'm sure, but maybe they see we do not pose a threat. Greetings, plain clothes too. A man in deep blue robes and a pointy hat, all trimmed with gold, was all of a sudden before them. Whoa! Sona jumped back. Excuse me, I just used a teleportation sphere. You happen to be standing in the sphere's destination. Could you direct us to a teacher? The blue-robed man eyes them up and down and shrugs his eyes closed. Without pause, his eyes open and says, I am a teacher. Greatness? Oh, greatness indeed. The man begins walking. Follow me. They do so, and they can hear him say under his breath, I'll have to use that. Following him into a building, they can see a stone bench wrapping itself around the spacious room. On the floor, 5 circles with strange markings circle another with another circle with markings. On the floor, 5 circles with strange markings encircle another circle with markings. 3 of the outer circles are accompanied by one standing mage each. They all face the center circle. Higros is astonished at the sight before him, and the power felt in the room has engulfed his state of mind. Thoughts of wonder and delving sought are primarily found, and suddenly the blue-robed man enters the center circle. Please join us and give your names. I am Higros, son of Higer. They see he is wearing beige and green clothing. I am Sona, daughter of Ojin. She wears beige and faded red clothing. Nice to meet you, Higros and Sona. I am Owol. These are my other freshly new students. He gestured for them to speak. Bone, son of Arda, a man in black pants and a flowing golden shirt. Gizmuk, son of Tip, a teenager wearing cream-colored robes. Julia, daughter of Nun. She wears a red robe top and red skirt. Do not worry about remembering each other's names. This is about the study of magic, not a status club. Ol begins his first lesson by telling them the story of Mage the First, and how everyone has the ability to do magic. It just needs to be accessed. He goes on to read their auras to figure out what type of mage they are. There are traditional mages, creatine magis, ricocheters, talions, soul surgers, and more. A traditional mage can, in time, learn any spell already created. A creatine magi creates their own spells. A ricocheter can only do spells he or she is exposed to. A talion is much like a creatine magi, but they are somewhat limited because they must construct stories around the spells for them to work, often using their own story. Soul surgers are rarely found mages that uses their soul to fuel their mana. Sona, you are next. You are a talion. Scenario and situational poetry will bring your spells to life. Use your own life story or generate a truth altogether, but keep it orderly, or your stories will follow a path of chaos, just for the simplest of magic. Higros, you are a soul surger. They go on to do great things. Stay true to who you are and accomplish what you set out to accomplish. That's it for today, students. Come back tomorrow to level up for the first time. With no home to return to, Higros and Sona lay in a grass field under the stars. They kiss for the second time and go to sleep filled with the memories of a good day. Chapter 3. It's been 3 months since Hygros and Sona first came to the Mage Lands, the Lord Bleezies to be exact. There are 5 Mage Lands altogether, each ruled by a Mage Lord: Gomek, Bleezy, Huden, Federer, and Grobe. The 6th land is ruled by the anti-Mage groups: Mage Dominance ruled by Dramager, Heredity Gang ruled by Dominance, and Grip Growth ruled by Homesec. The once anti-Mage, Land Dwelling 2 and Love, and the rest of their class have leveled up to 3 and have learned a small decent amount of spells in the process. Their level ups come with the subconscious understanding of their own power, their minds handling the information to eventually nuzzle in and rest in their abilities. Studying for them is key. On this day, the rain poured down gloomily. Rain is not always gloomy. Sometimes it invokes feelings of wanting to cuddle. It can feel like it wants to not only nourish a plant life, but also yourself. Sometimes it is annoying, each drop splashing against your face and clothing. It can be fun, bring love mooded. It can disappointingly keep you inside. But today, it was gloomy. Now it is thundering. Not such greatness, says Owl. No matter, that is not thunder. That is cries of war, says Bone and Arda, dropping the rain's gloom. They rush into the streets to find mages and people with steel blades at a standoff. The rain comes down harder. Why have you come? Asks Owl, bundling his robes with his hand and showing no threat. There has been a kidnapping. An innocent woman and a man of God. They have been taken here. How dare you? No kidnapping has taken place, says Sona. We came on our own accord. A look of disbelief fell over the man with his winged scimitar. This was your choice? After you were to be a priest? I am still a man of God. Yes, this was our choice. Then you will be scraped off my boot like the mage scum that you are. Roar! The man rushed to down Hygros. Not knowing any combat spells, he did his best to calm himself and pray. Before prayer was uttered, 10 mages in white robes appeared, their hands glowing orange, ready to attack. The man stopped, anger smeared on his face. This is not the end of it, Hygros, and turned his back, trudging away. The next thing seemed to happen in slow motion. An anti-mage pulled out a crossbow and shot Ole in the chest. The rain seemed to make no noise as he fell to his knees and collapsed on his side. The fighting ensued then. No more mages were lethally injured, and some anti-mages retreated alive. A man in white robes went to heal Ole, but it was too late. The crossbow was dipped in dark energy poison. He was gone. We say goodbye to you, Ole, a loved and loving teacher, friend and good mage. You will be missed and remembered. Farewell. The people who knew Ole gathered at the place where Ole's body will rest, an above-ground glass tomb in the forest of Bleezy's land. Ole's brother Gig invited Hygros and Sona to his home to discuss things. They sat in the home once shared with Ole, and he told them cherished memories, such as how Ole would break bowls and cups owned by his parents, just to see if he could rewind time and put it back together with magic. He never did, but Gig would find it so funny because Ole would get the urge at random. Out of nowhere, oh! Gig looked down and smiled. I got that from him, oh. Speaking of things gotten from Ole, he wanted you to have something. Gig left the room and returned with a stack of books, scrolls, and journals, all of his accumulated magic knowledge. Wow, this is huge with certainty. Did he say why? He saw something in you. He sometimes rationalized it by saying it was because of your soul's surge of potency, but he often said it was more than that. It is your love of Sona, your devotion to God, your willingness to learn. It is because of these things and his sense of you that you obtained his books, and his job as teacher. He both listened silently. He was level 7, but he was level 7 by the end. But these books can take someone far past that, living a long and full life. I accept his books. And I'll do my best to teach. Greatness. Stay the night if you wish. You two are always welcome. Chapter 4. Hygros spent the next morning studying, getting ready to lead his students to the higher reaches of levels. He droned into the words with no distractions or hindrances until a knock came at the door. Gig opened it. Lord Bleezy, a true pleasure. I am sorry for your loss. May I come in? Oh, needn't you ask? Lord Bleezy had darker skin than Hygros. His thick long hair was tied in the back. He wore violet robes, and an amethyst hung around his neck on a gold chain. Please, tell me why you've come. I came to see Higros, the once anti-mage priest. Higros stood and held out his hand. Bleezy grasped it. I'm glad to meet you. May we speak? Higros nodded. As you know, the anti-mages came here believing that you had been brought against your will, and sought blood along with your return. Yes. They know that it was not our doing, but I do not believe they have dropped their seeking. I've come to tell you that we are preparing for a war. What can I do? Bleezy smiled. You are determined. I'd like to see that. Bleezy looked into Higros' eyes, and Bleezy's own eyes flashed a twinkle of light. Something had happened, but Higros was not perturbed by it. You have taken the place of Ol as a teacher? How did you know? One picks up on things once you reach level 20. You're level 20? 24.3. Higros thinks of all the work he's put in these past few months. That's impressive. The highest in the realm, adds Gig. Without lying, I'm proud of it. But to the matter at hand. We need to be prepared for any incoming attacks. I have spoken to the other lords, and they are doing what they can. What I need from you is to teach mages combat spells. He looks at the pile of books that Higros was involved in. You won't find what you need in there. Gig folded his arms, his thoughts on his brother being behind his furrowed brow. His thoughts on his brother behind his furrowed brow. We will go to my castle where you will train in combat. Once you are adept in fighting, you will help others learn what you have learned. Why not train them yourself? We will be, but in time and act we will be, but time and access are imperative factors. I will go if I can bring Ol's books and learn spells of a peaceful nature too. Lizzie laughs heartily. Please. Lizzie takes out 3 small spheres. These will take you, Sona, and myself to my castle, where you will get settled in and trained. He looks to Sona. Will you be coming, good mage? I go where Higros goes. Take these and break them. Throw them to the ground if you can. Wait. Gig gestures toward the pile of books. I'll have someone collect them. Be ready for them. And with that, they faded from view. Chapter 5. Higros is level 8.5 now, and begins to understand the ways of the average mage. Their days are filled with spells and incantations. The things in their life separate from magic are augmented and upgraded with that same magic. All seem to adapt, if not welcome the brilliance of it, but every now and again, he'll see a glance of longing or emptiness, which is no doubt replaced with more magic. He ponders on these things as he finishes up studying, and goes to share a meal with Sona. They eat by an illuminated orb on the table, and enjoy each other's company. Is something on your mind, Higros? I love living in Bleezy's land. All of the mages I've encountered are so kind. Sona is staring intently at his face, reading into the emotion shown. But their magic seems without. It's missing something. What is it missing? Direction, maybe. What can be done about it? Sona drinks her sparkling drink. I'm going to figure it out. They retire to their bedroom. Beautiful Sona rests beside him, and Higros feels a sort of contentment. It's been 4 years since the attack that took Ol's life, and battles have broken out between the divided lands. Higros wakes up and gazes the darkness out his window. It is way before sunrise. He drags his feet to his studies in hopes that reading will tire him out. Sitting down to his books on combat given to him by someone under Bleezy, he is completely drained just looking at them. Maybe now he can get some rest. Just then, a pile of books catches his eye. Ol's old books. He hasn't touched them in all these years. He goes over to the pile and picks up a random book from the heap. That and those overhead. I believe the title has me hooked, he says under his breath. He flips through pages of beautiful poetry that is descriptive and illuminates emotions he had not been conscious of. About halfway through the book is an illustration of a winged woman, brimming with beauty and an air of understanding. A magic spell is written on the opposite page, and at the bottom is the warning. Opening the door brings the scent of your side. And the notes, sometimes the best summoning is an invitation. This spell is to summon her. Maybe she can impart some wisdom unto me. Without much thought than that, he casts the spell. Infinitesimal, celestial, the room then seemed to seep within itself, and sound lost some of its volume. Then the room returned with a golden light in the center and sounds of an angelic note. The winged woman stepped forward from the light. "Hello, Hygros." "Huh, hello." Hygros was dumbfounded. "I, Celestial Zele, have accepted your invitation. I seek wisdom from you. It is as if mages are in need of something magic cannot fulfill entirely, and there is a war between the mages and anti-mages. I know, Soul Surger. I believe with my aid you can help. The solution is in that which you would gravitate to before any of this. Trust in it and offer it to others." The angelic voice returned, speaking words unfamiliar to Hygros. "An evil has felt our conference. They seek to conquer this realm one day. But no matter. Your unborn child, Higroacy, will defeat them. This will indirectly lead to the death of the vessel I will one day be attached to. Take this ring. I will leave you with this, loving Hygros. A spell of peace to plant a seed of acceptance is what you will gain, if you can understand what spells mean to you." Her soft skin and relaxed eyes were then accompanied with a smile, and Hygros felt a tear fall on his cheek. "Farewell." She stepped into the light that left as it came. "What I gravitate towards. Peace and acceptance seed. What spells mean to me." His mind revolved around these things as he began to fall asleep. "Higroacy, where did you get that ring?" "A subtle angel." Chapter 6. Hygros finds that he gravitates to magic for God. He knows that when he casts a spell, it is with the essence of prayer, of goodness, of a form of ascension. Magic is where love was bound. Sona's love for him and his for her. Love to Hygros is of God, so his relationship with Sona is proof of this finding. As this takes root in his mind, he begins to really feel this is the key to ending the war. With Lord Bleezy, another Lord Gomek, and Sona, the four of them write a letter to be given to the ones leading the war or to the ones warring directly. "We, the two transitioners and two of the five lords, wish to show you we believe in God just as you do. We wish to share this because this is something shared by both parties, and this unknown fact might have sparked this violence. We, Lord Bleezy, Lord Gomek, Hygros, and Sona, have decided to inform more mages about God. In the hopes of no more separation, Hygros, writer and approver of this note, Sona, an approver of this note, Bleezy, an approver of this note, Gomek, an approver of this note." Read by the anti-mage leaders themselves, the note allowed for the anti-mage warriors to stop fighting and return to their home. They sent this return note: "We, current generation of leaders of non-spellcasters, admire and are now aware of the fact that you are also for God. Surely you can see that God wanted our end all that time ago. Anyway, please do not affect us with your magic. We look to stay dormant. Anonymous priest, writer and approver of this note. Mage dominance leader, approver of this note. Aridity gang leader, approver of this note. Grip growth leader, disapprover of this note." Chapter 7. There is peace in the land once again. Many mages study their magic and things pertaining to God and live joyfully. Some feel the days have gained a well-needed purpose. Hygros and Sona moved into Lord Gomek's land and await the birth of their child. Struggling in the city of Gomek's land, they stay afloat, but it is not easy. Hygros, with the help of Lord Gomek, plans on being a priest with his own church. Hygros' goal is to one day have a church filled with mages and non-mages alike. Sona feels uneasy about this. This was the story of Hygros, son of Higer, father of Higroacy. He brought peace to the land, and his son is said to bring peace in the future. Wow, my son, said to be a great man by an angel. How will this come to be? End of Hygros, Subtle Angels. Higer, bonus story. In a moment, there are two, simply two. It would seem something is stirring. One asks the other, "Are you here?" The other immediately responds, in a manner the one would describe as flawlessly, "Yes." "And you are what? Different from me?" "I myself come in different forms, but I am not you." The one understands what the other means. This other is pure potential and awaiting the one to decide. There is no sign of needing to be weary. If you would indeed like to choose, what is it you would like? As he started to ask what his options were, he suddenly felt characteristics of heat and pressure, fields and spectrums of character, that communicated further with each other, and recognized what will come to be. Eager? Asks the other, stating the one's name. Yes? Walk with me. The end of Higroacy the Mage.